everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe coming to you from Los Angeles, California. It is December 17, 2020. Tonight, we have updates from several of our correspondents across North America. Mayan Manzano-Gerzon in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey's state of emergency due to Winter Storm Gale remains in effect. Governor Murphy gives updates.
Hey Regalado in Woodland Hills, California.
Los Angeles provides free at-home COVID-19 testing kits to eligible residents.
Anna Cui in Las Vegas, Nevada reports about how Nevada Governor Sisolak places new eviction moratorium, hopes to mitigate community spread of COVID-19. Frendo Fejerin in Seattle, Washington reports about the more than 1.4 million Washingtonians who downloaded the Notify app to help battle COVID-19. Thomas Lackness in Edmonton reports about COVID-19 claiming more lives in Alberta than the flu in the last decade. For sports, Tennis Umage reports about Giannis Antetokounmpo signing a Supermax contract with the Milwaukee Bucks. And for some North Carolina garlic prawns, ABC friend Ethel Constantino invites us to her kitchen in Raleigh. Plus, for our virtual roundtable, December 18 is National Twin Day. And tonight, we have two sets of twins to chat with about how it is to have a double. Well, sort of. Our coverage begins now. First, an overview of today's COVID-19 numbers. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, December 17, 2020, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 74,724,000. Top three on the list of countries with recorded cases are the U.S. with 17.1 million, India with 9.9 million, and Brazil with 7 million. To date, more than 1,657,000 have succumbed to this virus. Top three countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths are once again the U.S. at more than 309,000, Brazil at more than 183,000, and India at more than 144,000. It's the first snowstorm of the season, and the state of emergency declaration is still in effect in New Jersey because of Winter Storm Gale. Mayan Manzano-Gerzon has the details.
Thank you, Alan. Governor Murphy, along with other state officials in a press briefing held earlier today at the statewide traffic management center in Woodbridge, mentioned that the state remained under state of emergency due to the snowstorm Gale and gave further reminders and announcements. Take a look.
So the state of emergency I declared in advance of this storm yesterday remains in effect. And as the storm is not yet out of our state, I have declared a delayed opening for all state offices until 11 a.m. And this includes Motor Vehicle Commission offices. All in all, and I think my colleagues would agree with this, the storm pretty much met the forecast. Over the next couple of hours, weather activity statewide will begin to wind down, and this storm system will push its way out of New Jersey. The winds will also begin to die down as the day progresses. Most of the winter weather advisories and watches from the National Weather Service are set to expire at 10 a.m., though those of you in Passaic, Bergen, Essex, Union, and Hudson counties, again, Passaic, Bergen, Essex, Union, and Hudson counties, won't be in the clear, so to speak, until 1 p.m. Along the coast, the coastal flood warning from Monmouth all the way to Cape May is in effect until 3 p.m., as is the coastal flood advisory for the Delaware Bay, along the Cumberland and Salem County coasts. Looking ahead weather-wise, it's going to remain cold, so we should expect not only minimal melting over the next 24 hours, but whatever does melt may refreeze overnight. So we want everyone to remain cautious when venturing out. I will tell you, I'm looking outside right now. It's snowing, and there's a lot of ice on the ground. So we're moving out of this, but we're not out of it yet. So please be careful. For current road conditions, your fastest resource will be to find the NJDOT on Facebook. On Twitter at NJDOT_info, that's at NJDOT_info, and at 511NJ.org, 511NJ.org. At this hour, NJ Transit rail and bus service throughout Central and North Jersey remains suspended. And Diane will correct this if she's got it differently. Bus and paratransit service will resume at noon, and the rail services will resume on a rolling basis to some extent as we speak. I encourage you to visit, as we said yesterday and always, njtransit.com or on Facebook and Twitter at NJTransit for updates on service restoration.
Meanwhile, for New Jersey's latest COVID-19 numbers, the Department of Health has reported another 4,319 new positive cases today, bringing our statewide total to 419,330. Sadly, we are also reporting 77 new deaths, pushing the total to 16,172 New Jerseyans lost due to COVID-19. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, May and Manzano Garzon, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Thank you for that report, Mayanne. And we want to remind you, along with all of our other correspondents joining us tonight, to get your questions ready for our pair of twin guests that we'll be talking with later on tonight. Now, on to more COVID-19 news. In Los Angeles, free at-home COVID-19 testing kits are made available to residents who qualify. Eagle News correspondent Kay Regalado joins us tonight.
Thank you, Alan. Los Angeles County partners with Fulgent Genetics for the LA County Holiday Home Test Collection, which is a pilot program that allows eligible county residents to have a COVID-19 testing kit mailed to their home during this holiday season. The kit is the same nasal swab PCR testing used at free COVID-19 test sites throughout Los Angeles. You just need to sign up at the Fulgent Genetics website at picturegenetics.com/COVID-19. The testing kit will be delivered to the specific home address via FedEx 2 days after ordering online. Upon receipt of the kit, you have 7 days to take the test. There are 4 important steps to be taken for this at-home test. First, go online to activate the test. Second, collect the sample needed from your nose according to the instructions. Don't forget to wash your hands. Then place the sample into the prepaid overnight FedEx envelope. And lastly, ship the packaged sample back to Fulgent Genetics by dropping it off to your nearest FedEx location. So easy and very convenient for eligible Los Angeles County residents compared to waiting at long lines in many of the testing sites. Once you start, then these 4 steps need to be all done in one day. This means that when you collect the sample requested, the sample needs to be packaged and delivered back to the lab via FedEx on that same day. There is no cost, as this program is made possible by the county and is available for a limited time until January 15, 2021. After that date, you will need to purchase this at-home testing kit to avail of these services. Currently, the cost of this test is $119 for those who are not eligible Los Angeles County residents. In Woodland Hills, California, Kay Regalado, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Thanks for that report, Kay. And we know, just like all of our correspondents, you're looking forward to getting to ask your questions with some of our twins. Now, when we come back, updates from our Eagle News correspondents in Las Vegas, Nevada, Seattle, Washington, and Edmonton, Alberta. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
Kickoff.
This much is certain. Something is coming. The fact check for the kickoff of the Bundesliga. Who are the favorites? Who should be nervous? And where might surprises be lurking? We dare to look ahead to the new season.
Kickoff.
Events happen around us all the time. In our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basuyahe in Los Angeles. In its continuing fight against the pandemic, Washington State released the WA Notify application 17 days ago. And guess what? More than 1.4 million Washingtonians have already downloaded this exposure notification app. Bureau Chief Rendell Verheeren reports.
Thank you. It's been 17 days since the release of an application that would help slow or could even stop the spread of COVID-19. The COVID-19 virus continues to invade many households here in Washington, which necessitates additional tools like WA Notify to help protect ourselves, our family, and our friends. Before we dive into WA Notify, I'd like to share the most recent COVID statistical report from the Washington State Department of Health. 206,594 confirmed cases, 7,671 probable cases, which amounts to 214,265 total cases, 13,074 hospitalizations, and sadly, 3,042 deaths. You see, COVID-19 is still very much alive in our state, so therefore it's worth shining light on this tool that brings awareness and guidance on how to protect oneself and others should one be exposed to this deadly 2019 novel coronavirus. How WA Notify works. When two people using WA Notify on their smartphones are near each other, their phones exchange random codes using Bluetooth. 2. When someone in Washington tests positive and public health reaches out to them, they will be asked if they have WA Notify and given a verification code. The person who tests positive then enters the verification code into WA Notify. This is all voluntary. 4. Anyone who also has WA Notify and has been near the user who tested positive for a significant length of time in the last 14 days will receive an anonymous alert that they may have been exposed to COVID-19. And 5, notifications have a link to information about what to do next to protect yourself and others. All information is kept private, and no, you will not know in real time if you are near someone that is COVID tested positive. Since November 30th, the release of the WA Notify application, there are now more than 1.45 million WA Notify users. How easy is it to add WA Notify? On an iPhone, go to Settings, scroll down to Exposure Notifications, click on Turn on Exposure Notifications, select United States, select Washington. For Android users, you would go to Google Play Store, search and download the Washington Exposure Notifications app. Our population is more than 7 million. Washingtonians, let's help one another add this tool of armor against COVID-19. From Seattle, Washington, Rendell Verheeren, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you.
We appreciate that report, Rendell. Now, let's head over to Alberta, Canada, where it's been reported that COVID-19 has claimed more lives than the flu did in the last decade. Wow. Bureau Chief Thomas Likeness reports.
Thank you, Alan. More evidence for the skeptics who think COVID-19 is no worse than the flu. This comes from Alberta Health Services. Just how deadly has the pandemic been in our province? Well, let's ask Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Dina Hinshaw.
It is a sobering statistic that in less than 10 months, more Albertans have now died from COVID-19 than have died from influenza in the last 10 years combined.
But Dr. Hinshaw, the critics say it's mostly old people who account for most of these deaths. Come on, Doc, even if a younger person is infected, it isn't that serious, is it?
This virus does not discriminate, and it can have long-term and potentially devastating impacts on all of our health. No one of any age can take COVID-19 lightly.
Some of the long-term effects include heart problems, lung problems. It can also affect your kidneys, your nervous system, can create memory loss, psychiatric problems. These are serious problems that can linger for a lifetime. So how many people in the younger demographics ended up with COVID so far? Dr. Hinshaw says 38% of the cases were in the under 40 age group.
In Alberta to date, more than 32,000 people between the ages of 20 and 39 have contracted COVID-19. More than 380 of them have been hospitalized, and sadly, 8 of these have died.
Very sobering numbers. And the only way to decrease these numbers right now is with public health restrictions until enough people are vaccinated so that herd immunity takes over. In the meantime, I wish you all good health. Remember to take care of others and take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Up next, update from Las Vegas, Nevada, EBC Sports, and our virtual roundtable discussion with twins, well, about twins, because December 18 is National Twin Day. Eagle News will return in a moment. Stay with us.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas, a 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Aguila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Aguila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explain our health outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Hello there. Imagine Demi got the virus and she infected 2 more. And those 2 infected a lot more of people. And it goes on and on until it became an epidemic. But what if Demi stayed at home? Then those 2 wouldn't have contracted the virus. Then those people would have not been infected. This is not just your battle, it's everyone's, and you can be a huge help. Follow social distancing, or better yet, stay at home.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Still trying to mitigate not only the health, but also the economic impact of COVID-19, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak places a new eviction moratorium for the state. Bureau Chief Anna Cui has the details.
Thank you, Alan. Yes, along with extending the statewide pause, Governor Steve Sisolak placed a new eviction moratorium, as you mentioned, that started on Tuesday, which he said was recommended by his own task force. It applies to tenants who are unable to pay their rent due to circumstances related to COVID-19 through the end of March. Sisolak did say that it will not prohibit certain evictions, including breaches to any lease agreements, such as any public nuisance or unlawful activities. Sisolak said that when people are evicted, it's impossible for them to stay home. They'll be out there looking for jobs and housing, doing anything to save their families, right? So evictions could force people into crowded living situations, and worse yet, maybe even overwhelm existing shelters that we have. And then they can spread the virus unknowingly too, because, I'm sure being tested for the virus will be the last thing on their mind if they're out there, not having a home. So on the flip side, though, Sisolak acknowledged the economic impact that the eviction moratorium will have on landlords. So he said he will do everything he can to continue to push for economic assistance for them. He's hopeful that this is one area of economic assistance that the federal government is including in their talks for another stimulus package. He even, joke around saying that if he could write a check to every Nevadan, he would. But of course, that's something that's not possible. So he asked the landlords to sacrifice again as the state makes what is hopefully a final push through the last surge of the virus. Now, in related news, as far as helping to stem the increasing spread of COVID-19 virus across the valley, the Las Vegas Clark County Library District temporarily closed its 25 branches and curbside pickup services starting yesterday, December 16, 2020. Closing their doors is a difficult decision, according to Fred James, their acting executive director, because their mission is to serve the public, especially during these challenging times. Since the lockdown, they tried to remain open to provide much needed services, especially to students, providing tutoring and helping them with distance learning programs, and helping those people who are looking for jobs, providing them career support. However, they realized that the escalating infection rate, with that, they needed to temporarily close out of an abundance of caution for their most, vulnerable employees and customers as well. What's nice is that their free Wi-Fi remains available in all of their parking lots. So people can still go there, take advantage of that if they need to. Customers can still return all books and materials at any of their library branch book drops during the closure, and all fines for any late items will be waived. The Library District plans to reopen its doors on time for the start of school year, January 4, 2021. This will be contingent, of course, upon any future directives from the governor's office. In Las Vegas, Anna Cui, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Anna. And another big contract signing happened in the NBA. This time, it was Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks. With Antetokounmpo in the lineup, the Bucks will be a contender for the NBA championship for years to come. Tani Sumage reports.
Giannis Antetokounmpo makes NBA history, signing a 5-year, $228 million Supermax contract extension with the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday. The two-time reigning MVP is eager to win his first NBA title this season.
Obviously, the first year with the best regular season record. We went to Toronto, wasn't able to go to the finals. Second year, we got eliminated in the second round. Obviously, both years hurt a lot. You got to learn from them. But at the end of the day, as an organization, where we started, where we are right now, we've gotten better, and we got to keep getting better. This season, that's the mindset. That's the mindset. We got to get better. Obviously, everybody wants to win a championship. I'm not playing not to win a championship. I'm not playing to be second or third or fifth. Now I'm playing to be the best. Obviously want to be at the end, the last team standing, but there's steps to that. You know, there's never has been a team that you're going to go and just going to go to the championship and just get it easy. You got to work for it. You got to hurt to get it. And as a team, we've decided that we got to get better. Last year, we wasn't ourselves. What we showed in the bubble wasn't ourselves, and we wasn't even close to what we can do. Going into the season, our main focus, obviously, is the championship. But before even that, we got to get better as a unit. We got to create good habits. We got to be the toughest, the nastiest, the team that plays together. So we're going to take step by step. I don't believe it's a championship or a bad situation. Obviously, everyone wants to win a championship. I want to win a championship. There's nobody who wants to win a championship more than me. I can guarantee you that. But there's steps to that. You got to keep improving. You got to keep getting better, and hopefully we can get there this year.
Antetokounmpo and the Bucks will open the season on the road in Boston against the Celtics on December 23rd. In New York, Tenny Sumagi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Truly engaging report. Thank you, Tenny. According to livescience.com, scientists have created twins databases for 76 developing countries, the most comprehensive yet for the developing world. This includes data on approximately 2.5 million births by nearly 1.4 million women collected between 1987 and 2010. It says of the developing nations studied, 13.6 twins per 1,000 births were born on average. This is comparable with intermediate rates seen in the United States, Australia, and many European countries of 9 to 16 per 1,000 births. Researcher Jeroen Smits, a sociologist and economist at Radboud University Nijmegen in the Netherlands, said the highest twinning rates were seen in Central Africa, with more than 18 twins per that 1,000 births. In comparison, twinning is very low in Asia and Latin America, with a rate often less than 8 per 1,000 births. The major exception are the Caribbean islands, where many people of African descent live. For instance, Haiti had 14 twins per 1,000 births. Tonight, we're joined by not one but two sets of twins. One identical. We're talking about 19-year-old Estella Dominique and Elise Danielle from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and another fraternal, 18-year-olds Jeanette Amber and Aaron Benji from Burtonsville, Maryland. And believe it or not, these four wonderful teenagers, they're friends as well. So now we want to welcome our sets of twins. And you're going to have to forgive us if we get lost between Estelle and Elise and Amber and Jeanette. Just go ahead and correct us if we get things mixed up. Let's start first with our twin sisters. How are you two doing tonight?
Hi, we're good.
Okay. Now, who's who?
So I'm Estella. And I'm Elise.
Okay. So as I'm looking at my screen, Estella, you're on my right. And Elise, you're on my left. Now let's go over to our fraternal twins. Please introduce yourself. Well, we know who you are, but go ahead and just say it just for our viewers' sake.
Hello, I'm Jeanette.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Okay, Jeanette and Aaron. Now, Jeanette, Aaron, and Estelle and Elise, we have some questions and some things to discuss with you. Let's get started. Let's go first with our identical twins. Okay, either of you can answer how many, let's see if you really know this, how many minutes apart are the two of you?
Oh, this is a very hard one, but I'm just kidding. We're 9 minutes apart.
9 whole minutes. And so who was the one that was born first? That first, 9 minutes ahead of the other.
Estella is older by 9 minutes.
Okay, great. Okay, so hey, senior Estella, and same thing, same question to our fraternal twins. How many minutes apart are you, and who's older?
I'm older by 1 minute.
Wow, keeping it close. Okay, that's awesome. And Aaron, how do you feel about that? You're okay with being the younger one?
I like to call it even. 1 minute's not that big of a difference.
It isn't an Olympic sport. But anyway, let's go with you. Let's go with you, Aaron Jeanette. At what age did you realize that the two of you were born the same day and that you're going to always celebrate the same birthday forever and ever?
As life went on, I really think that it just, it just like played into our parents. They just told us that like we were born. They always talked about how we were born the same day. We always celebrated the same birthday, so we didn't really see a difference that we were separated that much from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we just saw it from our parents.
Do you remember how old you were? Were you like 3 years old, 4 years old enough to comprehend? Do you have any idea?
Probably about like 5, 6, somewhere around there.
Oh, look at that on screen. So cute. So cute. And so do the two of you really celebrate birthdays together?
Yeah, we've spent every birthday of our 18 years together. So.
Okay, great. So now we also know how old the two of you are, and so that's great. It's quite sweet that you two still celebrate together and have been since birth. I'm going to move on to identical twins, and you might notice I'm saying identical and fraternal just so I can avoid saying the names. So identical twins. We want to ask you, what common reactions do you get? Because especially since you two are identical, do you get from people when they see you and realize, hey, the two of you are twins?
Yeah, a lot of them, they'll meet one of us first, and then later on they'll meet the other one, and then they will realize, oh, you guys are twins? Or sometimes they'll think we're the same person, and we have to explain, oh no, that's my twin, and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes they ask, oh, are you guys identical or fraternal? Just the basic questions of, when you meet a twin.
At least, do you have to explain the difference between fraternal and identical twins to people?
Sometimes when they ask that question, are you guys identical or fraternal? And I say identical, and they're like, wait, what does that mean exactly? And I just explain to them what that means.
Excellent. Now we're going to go back to our fraternal twins. And I actually know quite well the difference between identical and fraternal. I have cousins that are fraternal twins. To our fraternal twins, has being twins ever been a disadvantage to you? And can you explain why?
Not really, in a sense. Maybe our parents had to pay double for if we wanted something, say like college. Now that we're in college, they have to pay for or help pay for both at the same time, so it's a lot harder. Maybe growing up when we had to share toys because we couldn't get both at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So Aaron, sharing toys, how difficult was that? Because when your sister Jeanette had a new doll and you said, I want to play with that, is that what happened? Is that the kind of toys that you shared, or we're talking about something different?
I mean, when we used to argue about toys, it used to be something that we both wanted, not like dolls, but something that we both wanted. So, and then our parents would get mad at us every time we would argue with each other because we wanted the toy.
But now at 18 years old, I guess you could maybe go get a job and get whatever toy you want. All right. Now we're talking about the disadvantages. Now let's go back to Estella and Elise. What are some of the advantages you've experienced of being twins?
I would say growing up as a twin, we kept each other in check throughout our lives. We made sure not one of us did a bad thing or a wrong decision. So it helped us make the right choices throughout our childhood because we know the other one's watching. Yeah. So.
Right. It's always good to have that confidant with you, but who also holds you accountable. Keeps everyone on the straight and narrow. And I'm going to continue on with you. Can you talk about your greatest difference? You two are identical, but there must be some differences.
I would say right now, Elise has brown hair. I think she also did that so it helps helps people look at the differences. But I would say we're pretty much similar. I think the more you get to know us, I think the more you'll be able to see what's different the differences between each of us.
Well, I, for one, do appreciate your brown hair, Elise, because now I can just identify which one is Elise and which one is Stella. Let's talk to Aaron and Jeanette. Being fraternal twins, there must be some similarities, though. Can you talk about that?
We generally like the same things, actually. We like the same foods. We do a lot of the same stuff, like we play sports a lot with each other. Usually when we hang out, it's kind of like we have a lot of similar hobbies like this.
Okay, that's great. And if you have similar hobbies and play similar sports, maybe that cuts down on the cost of equipment. We're moving back to Estella and Elise. Because, identical twins, I'm sure this question came up in our heads. Were you ever dressed the same by your parents?
Yeah, I would say we were. A lot of our baby photos, we would dress the same, or sometimes the same clothing but different colors of it. Usually Elise would be dressed in yellow, and then I would be dressed in pink. Yeah, but sometimes when it's all the same color, we'll have to ask our parents which one is which in the baby photos, because we can't tell ourselves.
Oh, that's cute. And we do see those younger videos of you. We're going to move back to Amber and Aaron. Although you two are fraternal, one boy, one girl, did you ever like the same things as kids aside from toys?
Yeah, we like playing like a lot of games, like video games. We like to play that with each other a lot.
And you said you played together a lot. Do you ever disagree about anything?
In terms of like games?
Games or anything at all?
Oh, anything at all. So we like the same movies, but we don't like the same TV shows. Like that's a big difference between us. I'll sit here watching something and I really won't like it.
Well, I certainly hope you have more than one TV set at home. And I'm staying with you, Amber and Jeanette. What are some of the things that you do agree most about aside from movies?
I'd have to say, generally things we like, similar things, maybe foods we agree on. We usually share our foods, when we order at a restaurant. We play volleyball outside. Our hobbies are pretty similar. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Sharing is caring, and sharing food is absolutely essential in the household. Elise and Estelle, do you have the same set of friends? Why or why not?
I would say we do have the same friends, but there's some that she'll be closer to, or I'll talk more to. But generally, we have the same set of friends, and I would say both of us are friends. So I think that's an advantage of we get to become friends with each other's friends. So that becomes we get to have more friends. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. You say the two of you are friends, which totally dismantles my next question, which was, is there sibling rivalry? But can you comment about that?
Well, we could say we have friendly competitions, on who gets a better grade or who does better at something. But we don't use it as a bad competition. We just use it to motivate each other, and we don't get mad if the other person does better. We actually just we congratulate them for doing good at certain things.
Aaron, Jeanette, how has being twins shaped you as a person? Either of you can respond.
Well, I think that, I've lived all my life with twins, so I feel like I'd be a different person if I wasn't a twin, because he was always there by my side to also keep me in check. So I feel like I'd be very different if I didn't have a twin, or if he wasn't my twin.
Now, Estelle, Jeanette makes a good point. Always been twins, that's all you've ever known. But if given a choice, would you want to be born again as a twin?
If given the choice, yeah, I would want to stay as twins. Both of us were both shy individually, so if we didn't have each other, it would be really hard making friends at school and stuff.
So, that's all well and good. Sounds so sweet. But Elise, how about in the future? You grow up, start your own family. Do you have any plans in the future of living next to each other or something close to that?
Yes, we actually maybe after college, maybe after college we want to get a place together, and we've always wanted to we're already planning what our rooms will look like and what's our theme in our place. So yeah, I don't think there's any plans to separate as of now.
Plans for the future still include each other, and of course we want to have more twin talk, but we're going to get to it when we return. This is Eagle News America. Please stay with us.
Julia Abat. And I'm Joanna Abat. We are from Calgary, Canada. Happy National Twin Day.
I am Brother Jonathan.
I am Brother Joshua.
And we are from Tarlac City, Tarlac. Happy National Twin Day.
In good shape. Isn't that how we'd all like to be? But how can you be truly fit? And how can you stay truly healthy right up into your golden years? And truly have fun while doing it.
In good shape.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
Turuan din natin ang mga bata ng tamang paghugas ng mga kamay. Basain ang kamay ng tubig at lagyan ng sabon. Kuskusin ang iyong mga palad. Gayon din ang pagitan ng mga daliri. Pati na ang likod ng mga palad at daliri. Ganon din ang iyong hinlalaki. Kasama ang mga dulo ng iyong mga daliri. Pagkatapos ay iyong kalapulsuhan. Gawin ito ng kahit 20 segundo. Pagkatapos ay banlawan ng tubig at patuyuin.
Hindi mo ba alam, mauubos daw ang mga tissue products?
Bakit naman? Ang raw materials daw ng mask at tissue products ay iisa lang. Saan naman galing ang balitang yan? Ay basta, narinig ko lang din. Maraming diling kayang nagpo-post sa Facebook at Twitter, kaya kung ako sa'yo, pumuha ka na din. Sige na't mauna na ako sa'yo
Huwag basta-basta magpaniwala
sa mga nakikita
o nababasa sa social media.
Magsaliksik at i-verify ang lahat ng impormasyon
nakukuha sa internet.
Tandaan,
maging responsable tayo
sa paggamit ng social media
nang hindi magdulot ng panic sa iba. Kung paanong
dapat labanan ng COVID-19.
Ay gayon din ang ating pagsugpo.
Sa black propaganda
at maling impormasyon.
Dennis Lu,
Lou Omelda,
Luigian Alpartosa,
Tyranel Pililu,
Hannibal Arevalo,
EBC,
Japan,
Euro.
We live in interesting times.
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Now to continue our virtual roundtable about twins, because December 18 is National Twin Day. And you know, it's said that no matter how alike you are, there will always be differences to tell you apart. And these differences are seen in your personalities. And we want to see the differences in the personalities of our guest twins tonight. We're going to accomplish that by playing a little game. And now, normally, it is poor manners to point. In this case, however, for the purposes of our game, pointing is just fine. And to our twins, what you need to do is to point to either yourself or to point to your sibling if the phrase that I'm about to say describes that person. You're either going to point at your sibling, it describes them, or you're going to point to yourself. And I am going to declare a winner. Okay. At the end of our game, I'm going to tell you who won, and I'm going to base it on two metrics. One is believability, meaning I actually believe what you're saying is actually true. And number two, entertainment. If we're entertained, you're going to be, I'm going to be able to figure out who wins. Okay, so that's the game. Point to whoever this phrase describes, and there will be a winner. So, Estelle, Elise, Aaron, Jeanette, are you ready to play?
Yes, Alan, you are.
Okay, great. So I want to make sure that I can see you on screen. Are you able to see? There you go. All right. Let's start pointing politely. Who does this phrase match more? Here we go. Who sleeps more? Okay. My assistant off to the side is jotting it down. Next question. Who consumes more food? Oh, so far, you're all agreeing. Excellent. Who's the bigger worrywart? Wow, these twins are so in tune with each other. Okay, moving on. Who's an out-of-control shopper? Who shops more?
I'm seeing how the older twins are the same and the younger twins are the same.
I know, so far. Okay, and so let's go with Estelle. Let me ask you though, you shop more, is it even before the pandemic, did you do more online shopping or more in-store shopping?
I think during the pandemic, I think online shopping was more convenient, and it was like I could just stay at home and just look. But I wouldn't say I would buy a lot. I was just like, she takes a long time shopping. She does.
Yeah, and now that we can do online, click of the button, wow, it's kind of dangerous. All right, let's move on. In your opinions, who is the smarter twin? Okay, so we have a little bit of dissension with the identical twins, but the fraternal are agreement here. That question was devised in order to create division, but you know, the fraternal twins, you're on the same page. All right, moving on. This actually, you know, kind of explains more with the identical twins. Who's nicer? Oh, come on, Aaron, Jeanette. You have to think about it. Aaron, how come you're nicer?
I think that's pretty even. I mean, she's meaner to me, so I think that's why we say I'm nicer.
Did you notice that, viewers? He says, I think we're pretty even. What a nice guy. All right, moving on. All right, my assistant, you're keeping track? All right, here we go. Who has more friends? Look at that. Elise, why do you think your sister has more friends than you do?
I don't know. I feel like, well, I would say she makes friends more easily. She's more social than me, so I would say it's easier for her to make friends. Yeah.
I find it absolutely astounding. I asked one twin a question, the other answered for you. That's like some kind of like a neurologic, mental link that twins must have. All right, let's move on to the next question. Who is mommy's pet? Okay. Well, let's ask the next one. How about dad? Who's daddy's pet? It's the same person? Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. One is mommy's pet, one is daddy's pet. Is that correct for both twins? Amazing. Amazingly. Jeanette, you're daddy's twin, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
And why is that?
I don't know. Growing up, everybody told me I look like him, so I kind of just, we also bake together, so so we have a lot in common.
Way to man's heart is through his stomach. That's probably one reason that you're daddy's pet. Okay, next question. Again, my assistant is jotting down the score thus far. And I got to tell you, it's pretty close. I'll tell you who the winner is at the end. Who takes longer to get ready? Estelle, how come it takes you so long to get ready? What's the holdup here?
I would say it takes long because
She takes her time.
I do, but it's also I get ready late too, so it's worse if I do take long also.
How about this? Which of you gets annoyed quicker? Uh-oh, what about the identical? All right, before we go to fraternal twins, at least you had a long pause. You had a long pause before you finally gave the thumb to your sister. What was that delay about?
Well, I just had to think about like our personality and like how we behave towards each other. And like I would say like there's a Filipino word that I'm more kulit or like annoying. So Estella gets annoyed at me because I'm always nagging at her and like always like I'm more annoying. So Estella gets annoyed more.
Totally understand. If when you get annoying, just cool it. Okay, just cool it. That's what we're going to tell you right now. Now, who is easier to please? The four of you aren't making this very easy on us. You're agreeing to almost everything. All right, I'm going to move on to my last question because I want to get some of the correspondents in on this. Talk about style. Who's more stylish? Wow. Okay, this is a very one-sided game. All right, thanks for your participation. And at this point, the winner, I want to declare it, but I need a little bit more data. And so I'm going to ask to come back on Anna, Kay, and May-Ann just to ask some questions. We're not going to do any more finger pointing, but based on their answers, I'm going to go ahead and declare the winner. Okay, so if Anna, Kay, and May-Ann can join us, there it is. Anna, I hope you've been preparing some questions. What do you want to ask either sets or both of sets of our twins?
Well, Alan, it kind of goes along when you mentioned earlier the mental thing, right? Because we've heard that twins can read each other's mind. Is that true? And what example would you have? We'll ask the twins first. I mean, identical twins.
I would say not too much like we could read each other's minds, but I could say if there's certain situations we could know what one is thinking about, and if like maybe by like their facial expressions and just like their tone of voice and how they act. Like if we're out in public and we're acting different, the other person knows something's wrong, or maybe because we just know each other too well that we know if the other person is not feeling too good.
That's fun. So you give each other those, like you mentioned, the facial expression or that look that you know what the other one is going to say or do. What about Aaron and Amber?
For us, I don't think it's really the like twin telepathy thing. I think she just gets me a lot more than everybody else does, because sometimes like when I talk, I like to like mumble a lot, and then everybody would like laugh. They'd be like, "What would you say? What'd you say?" And I'm like, "Amber knows. Just ask her." And then she'll translate for them what I just said to them.
Guys, Alan.
Anna, thank you for those questions. It's helping me formulate the winner. So those questions were very, very intuitive. Let's move on to May-Ann. Please ask some questions.
So was there ever a time when you guys had to be separated? Like, well, for example, one has to travel for school or vacation. And if you have, how long was the separation and how did it feel? Were you happy to be separated for once, or it was sad? Or tell us more about that. Okay, identical first.
Well, when Estella's at work, she usually goes a couple of days a week, and then like after school, like online school, and I get like sad and like I don't know what to do at home. Like I get bored like very easily. So when it's during her break, the first thing I do is FaceTime her and just ask her. Like, even though we've been apart for like only 3 hours, I ask her, "Hey, what's new?" Like, but yeah, I tend to miss her more often. Like I don't know, just even though we're apart for a couple hours, I just miss her company.
Oh, okay. How about Amber and?
Well, currently we're going to different schools now, so we don't really know the same people. But he'll still tell me about his classmates, and I'll still tell him about my classmates. So we still keep each other updated, even though we don't know who the other people are. But because school is online now, we really aren't separated. So
yeah, that's true. I see. Okay, thanks, guys.
And thank you, May-Ann. Your questions are helping to formulate the winner, at least in my mind. Let's move on now to Kay. Please present your questions.
We've talked about a lot of different qualities during this broadcast, but what would you say is your twins' greatest strength? Yeah, we can go identical first.
I would say it's easier for us to take criticism by each other. If ever she needs something to be corrected on, I automatically, I just tell her, and it's like just a bond that we have that it just helps, because usually if other people were to say it, it'll maybe be harder for us to understand what needs to be corrected on. And I guess because we know each other more, and also it's easy, it's not as hard, it's not as easy for us to get our feelings hurt when it's each other. I mean, like we could get mad at each other, then a minute later, it's like nothing happened. So that's a good thing about being a twin.
Great, I really love your relationship. And the fraternal twin?
For Amber, I would say her greatest strength is she's a very hard worker. She would, especially with like school and stuff. So I would she would be in her room hours studying and studying. I wouldn't, like when I come out of my room, I won't even see her until like the end of the day. It's like she's been out of the house, but really she's been in her room the whole time. I have to go visit her because she's been in the room the whole day.
Aaron's greatest strength, I have to say, he's pretty active. He can pick up things easily. Together as a strength, like being twins, I feel like it's pretty similar to Estella and Elise, actually. It's good because we have somebody else to criticize us or help us better ourselves, because it's kind of easier to come from a twin or somebody that's really close to you rather than, I guess you'd consider a close friend, but I feel like a twin is a lot more closer. So it just comes better because they know you.
It's a really wholesome answer. Thank you, everyone.
Now, I have questions as well. I'm going to start off first with Aaron Jeanette. Can you tell when the other one isn't being so straightforward? I avoided the word lying. When the other is not being so straightforward, can you tell?
Yeah. I mean, well, like when you can tell when like they're holding it back, you just know. like it's like when they have a little hesitation, especially between both of us, we just know. Like I mean, like when we talk to our parents, especially, and then we look at each other, so like we know that one's trying to hold back from telling our parents something.
I thought as much. I was imagining you as kids. Who ate the cookies? And you say, I know who ate the cookies, that person there that I live with. Now I'm going to go to the identical twins. Have you ever played switcheroo? Meaning, have you ever tried to trick people into thinking that you were the other sister?
I would say yes. I would say 4th grade, we did switch, but it was at least the teacher's idea, so it wasn't like a full-on prank. But my teacher didn't know, and it was a pretty fun one. All our classmates were staring at Elise thinking, something looks different like that. But we haven't switched recently, but we would have loved to do that in high school. But since we went to online, it's kind of hard to, switch.
Such a wholesome girls, because there are other twins out there that are thinking, yes, if we could switch, we would get into all sorts of antics. Now, last thing I want to ask, I'm going to start off with Elise and Estelle. Finish the statement. Either of you can answer, both of you can answer, okay? But just keep it no more than 4 words. You ready? Here it is. My twin is...
For her, I would say the nicest person ever. I would say my twin is my best friend. So cliche, but oh wait, is that the word? Wait, my twin is my best friend. There, that's 4 words.
Have to be honest, that's exactly what we were thinking for the 2 of you. Now let's go on to Aaron Jeanette. Same thing. My twin is...
For me, I would say closest person to me.
Everybody took mine.
Because you're twins.
Yes. My twin is my closest confidant.
Excellent. Excellent way to say almost the same thing. Now, with all of your answers and with the help of our correspondents, we have declared a winner. And the winner is all of our Eagle News viewers who are able to watch this episode and get a picture of the life of twins. So we're the big winners here. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if we could duplicate people and make twins out of anybody, right now, it would have to be the brave women and men that are on the front lines battling the COVID-19 pandemic. So, of course, we want to take this moment to continue to thank those healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers with a big round of applause. We appreciate you. And that is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alan Basoyahe. We live in interesting times.